Hello friends, welcome to LeggLife, and we know over the last couple of months we've had a lot of people join our channel. And so in today's video we want to give you an opportunity to get to know us a little bit better. So we're going to be answering 20 random questions that we found online and we thought these would be fun to ask and answer. So today, that's exactly what we're doing.
These questions are just super random. They're not in any kind of like order that makes sense. They're just random. We're gonna answer them as we found them.
Sherry, let's just jump right into it.
Let's do it.
Question number 1.
Which is better, basketball or baseball?
So this is a timely question, you guys, because as we're filming this, today was opening day of Major League Baseball, but it is also March Madness. So we're kind of right in the middle of a really fun season of both of those. Sherry Beth, I think I know your answer because...
Well, I was born and raised in Indiana, and I'm not even sure why this is actually a question because obviously basketball is always the superior sport.
Okay, listen.
Always.
Okay, well,
superior sport.
All right, listen. I love basketball and I love baseball. I grew up playing baseball, but here, oh geez. I would rather go to a baseball game live.
No.
But I would rather on TV watch a basketball game. And here's the reason. Here's my explanation. I like question number 1. There's already like division in our marriage. The reason is that like baseball for me is one of the most like relaxing, enjoyable sports to go to. There's something about just like getting a bleacher seat.
AKA boring.
It's not boring. Like getting a hot dog, getting a soda, some Cracker Jacks, just like sitting back for a few hours and just sitting in the sunshine, listening to the crack of the bat. No? Okay, well, I say baseball.
Basketball games are so exciting.
Basketball games are so exciting.
And they're back and forth and there's things happening.
We clearly are not going to see eye to eye on this. So let's move on to question number 2. So this question is, what is your all-time favorite movie scene?
So this took me a minute because I really like movies. But I think I narrowed it down to the scene in When Harry Met Sally. Not that one. That at the very end, when he runs up to her and tells her he loves her, and then he says, when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible. And I think that's so cute and I love it.
And that's just a great movie.
The whole movie is great, but... Yeah.
That's a good one. My favorite scene is from the movie Schindler's List, which is my all-time favorite movie. Obviously not like uplifting, I totally get that. But there's a scene at the end of the movie where, you know, and he did so much, he rescued so many people, but there's the scene where he like takes off his ring, he's kind of having this moment of clarity and he's realizing what more he could have done. And he takes off his ring and he's like 6 more people. I could have bought 6 more people with this, right? And to me it's just always been one of the most powerful scenes of any movie ever, just because of that, somebody who had already done so much and so much more even than they probably needed to do, wishing he could have done more to save more. I've always, that scene gets me 100% of the time.
And the next question, do you love music and what is your favorite genre?
I absolutely love music so much. And the second part of that question, as far as genre, I cannot possibly answer. You guys, my musical taste is so freaking vast. I have gone to see Snoop Dogg in concert. I've gone to see the Vienna Boys Choir in concert, right? Like the huge, like I will go see anybody and I will listen to any kind of music, no matter how old, how new, how fun, how mainstream, how weird. I don't know, I just absolutely love music. What about you, Sherry?
Same. Yeah, my taste is really random. I have like a Sherry's playlist that I just have on and at work, and it's totally random. It's Macklemore, and then the next one is like Jackie Velasquez, and I don't really, I mean, they all, like, it's so random, but if I gravitated toward one sort of style, is probably like indie alternative.
Yeah, you love a lot of like acoustic, female-led kind of driven music.
Yeah.
And question number 4, Sherry, how tall are you, and have you dreamed of being taller?
Well, I'm 5'1", and I have for sure dreamed of being taller because I can't reach anything ever.
I'm 6'2", and I have no desire to be any taller. Like, I'm good, thanks, because I can reach tall things, but I'm not freakishly tall. Although, funny story, the other day, we were coming out of Michael's, like we were going into Michael's, the craft store, and there was a lady coming out. Now, 6'2" is not tall, right? Like, it's not.
I mean, it's tall when you're 5'1", and
okay.
I think she was shorter than me.
That's true. But, like, we're walking into Michael's, and she just, like, looks at me. She's like, whoa, you're tall.
How tall are you?
How tall are you? And I was like, 6'2". It's not like I'm, like, 7'4". It was, like, the first time that anybody's ever said that to me, so that was funny. But, no, I'm pretty good with my height.
Yeah. Question number 5. Do you have a fear of anything, and what do you fear the most?
I actually do have a fear of a few things. Like snakes and spiders, honestly, huge for me. Real talk, that is a real reason that we live in Alaska.
No
certainly one of
no
them.
Spiders.
Well, no poisonous
spiders.
Yeah, like I can't do those things. One of my other big ones, actually my third other big one, is one that's kind of a cool story. I've kind of been overcoming in the last few years, and that's always been the fear of public speaking. Like, this to me is fine, even though like lots of you guys are watching. This feels different to me than being on stage in front of like hundreds or thousands of people. However, for my job, I've actually had the opportunity, been forced into the opportunity over the last few years to do a lot more public speaking, and I'm feeling a lot more comfortable. And so it's actually been kind of
very, very good at it.
Thank you. I still get super nervous, but the last several times I've done it, I haven't wanted to throw up. So that's pretty good.
The first few times it was rough. Like the night before, he was like deep breathing and just like panicking, full on panicking.
Super panicking. But that fear is going away pretty much. Snakes and spiders. What about you?
Heights.
Yeah.
I didn't used to when I was younger. I don't know if it's just like I'm getting older and I'm actually realizing the consequences of falling like off the Eiffel Tower. But I don't know, like, so heights for me, it's gotten really bad in the last few years. Yeah, that was one of the reasons when we went to, if you guys watched our Colorado vlogs a couple years ago, we did this like, what would you call it, like a gondola kind of across this huge gorge. I thought for sure, I was like, there's no way Sherri's doing this. And she did, and I did. I sat between my brother-in-law and my mother-in-law. Yeah, you didn't love it. And I sat in the middle and I just looked straight down. I didn't like look out to the side nearly as much as everybody else was. They were like, look out the window. And I was like, But you did it. Good. But I did it. But you did it. Question number 6. Sherri Beth, do you like to read? And if so, how many books do you read in a year? Well, I do like to read a lot. Yeah. It's sort of like my favorite pastime. It ranges. There were a few years ago, I was actually able to read like 120 books in a year. And I don't count them as like books unless they have chapters. So they have to have like chapters. They have to be big enough to have chapters for me to count them as books. So 120 was kind of a lot. I am usually in the 80 to 90 range in a year. That's it's genuinely unbelievable to me. I'm learning to like to read. That's what I'll say. I didn't used to. Getting better. I didn't used to like to read. I think in the last year I read just a few books, probably like 3 to 5. My biggest problem with books is that, so I'm like a post-apocalyptic, like dystopian. Those are the books that I really love. But if a book gets boring, I have a hard time pressing through to go on. So I have... And like if it's boring in like one chapter, like he won't get through the end of that chapter, he's just done. No, I bet I have 20 books that have bookmarks in like chapter 11. You know what I mean? Like somewhere in there, there's a bookmark and I just kind of stop. Where they just sort of had to like move the story along just for the sake of moving it along, and there's not really like crazy action. Yeah, it loses me. So I'm learning to like to read. I'm nowhere near Sherri though. Question number 7, Windows or Mac? I am all Mac all of the time. My phone is an Apple phone, but I prefer Windows on my computer. Which is crazy to me, so let's just move on. Let's just move on. It's just easier to use. Like Mac is weird, and I don't know. I have problems with it, and a lot of like my work programs do not work on a Mac, and so I just Windows. Question number 8. How do you feel right now? I'm okay. I'm tired. It's like 10 o'clock at night. After Sherri has answered that last question, a little stressed. But I actually feel pretty good, honestly. Even though it is late at night, I don't know. I feel happy. Good. Number 9, Coke or Pepsi? Coke for me, for sure. I don't hate Pepsi. I would choose Coke like 10 times out of 10 over Pepsi. Same. I feel like Pepsi just leaves like a weird, not sugary taste in my mouth. Totally it's weird agree. And Coke doesn't. So. Hashtag Team Coke. Not sponsored. Would like to be. Sure. Give us a call, Coke. Question number 10. We are halfway there.
Sherri, what would your parents have named you if you were the opposite gender?
Benjamin Matthew, which is the name of my brother. They had Benjamin Matthew picked out. They really wanted a boy named Benjamin Matthew, and they had 2 girls first, and then they had my brother, and they were like, yes. So
Mine was going to be Amy. My parents actually, before I was born, entered a raffle, and it was like some raffle where you put in like your baby's name, and they put in one name for Adam, one name for Amy, and it was Amy that was actually picked to win whatever the prize was, which I never saw. Mom and Dad, if you're watching. So yeah, I was gonna be Amy.
Can we just call you Amy now?
Please don't ever type that in the comments, although my guess is we'll probably get quite a few of those.
Question number 11, what inspires you?
I don't know, I think a lot of things. I think primarily like the goodness of humanity. Like the things that I love watching on YouTube are people doing like random acts of kindness, or people doing things for people that could never pay them back, right? Like the goodness of humanity, to me, seeing the best of people in the worst of situations, I don't know, I think that's the most inspiring thing.
That's a good one. Really good art of any kind. It can be photography, it can be sculpture, it can be music. I mean, any kind of artistic expression, if it's really good, gets to me.
It's one of the reasons I think you love museums so much, and like art museums, because it's just like all of that stuff in one place.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, you're just like continually inspired throughout the whole exhibit.
Yeah.
Question number 12, Sherri, what is your favorite social media channel?
If Pinterest counts, probably Pinterest.
Pinterest is definitely a social media. I feel like mine changes. I went through a long time where it was Twitter, and I still really like Twitter, but honestly, probably YouTube right now.
It's LinkedIn, isn't it?
It is LinkedIn. I'm a huge LinkedIn fan. If you guys aren't connecting me on LinkedIn, I'm gonna get like a dozen LinkedIn requests randomly now from people. It's not LinkedIn. It really probably is YouTube. Facebook is okay. Instagram is awesome. I just don't feel like I'm good at Instagram. Like, I love Instagram. I just don't feel like I'm great at it.
Yeah. Instagram, since they like did their weird algorithm and I literally never see anything ever for like 2 weeks, I'm a little over it.
Social media. Let me talk to all the social media channels out there. There is never a time, ever, that I don't want to see content chronologically. Show me the newest first, and don't show me what you think I want to see, because that's not it.
Right, like I liked the channels because I like the channel, and I don't want them hidden because I haven't engaged with them or whatever kind of crap. Like
Huge pet peeve of ours, obviously. So for me, probably right now, YouTube, I'd say.
Number 13, what is your least favorite subject in high school, and what is your favorite subject in high school?
My least favorite, without a doubt, was math. I hated, and still to this day, hate math. My favorite was English, but the reason it was my favorite was because of my teacher. I had a teacher named Mr. Block, David Block, and he was hands down the best teacher I've ever had. There's not even like a close second. He was just, I don't know, he made English and school and learning fun. Yeah, so those would be mine. What about you?
Probably my art teacher, Mr. Bierman, was the same thing. Like, so art was my favorite. I really also liked English because you got to read a lot.
Makes sense.
Hated math.
Yeah, math sucks.
And math hated me. Let's be real clear.
Question number 14. What is a better movie, Titanic or The Notebook?
Titanic. I'm gonna go with
Titanic. I'm not a
as the whole movie. The
Okay.
whole movie of Titanic is better. I really like the sub story in Notebook, but I like the whole movie of the Titanic.
I like almost nothing about The Notebook, but I like at least a little bit of Titanic.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to choose Titanic. You guys, we all know Jack could have fit on that piece of rubble. Kate needed to scoot over.
It was a door, and they tried, and it didn't work.
She was being selfish, and she killed him, and I will never forgive Kate Winslet for that. Next question.
Okay. Number 15, which store would you choose to max out your credit card?
Well, first of all, you guys, we don't believe in credit card debt.
Yeah, please don't max out your
Please
credit
don't
card.
max out your credit cards. Pay in
Don't do
cash.
it.
Don't overspend what you have. So just a little side note. However, if I had to, probably, I was going to say the Apple store, but then I'm going to change it to actually Best Buy.
But in the Apple Store, you can buy one thing.
That's actually true.
One.
That's true. I'm going to change it to Best Buy because there's a larger range of technology, whereas the Apple Store, even Best Buy can buy Apple products. So I'll do Best Buy. What about you?
Mine's probably boring in like a furniture store, so I'm going to pretend to not be that boring. Probably something like Michael's or something like Crafty.
That makes sense.
Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, that's where...
If we had one. Hey, Alaska, get it together.
Yeah, we don't have a Hobby Lobby. Question number 16. If you could retire anywhere in the world, where would you retire to?
Ireland.
That was such a fast answer. I know we've talked about this in previous vlogs here. It would be Ireland for me as well. We went there 10 years ago this month, actually.
Yeah.
And we... I don't know, you guys. We fell in love with it. Like
half of my heart is still in Ireland. I left it there.
Oh my gosh. We loved Paris. We've loved other places we've traveled. Would love to go back. But Ireland is like the one place that it's like, if we had to pick up and move it somewhere internationally right now, that's where it would be.
Ireland. I just felt at home.
Yeah.
There.
There was something magical about it. We really do want to go back to see if it's the same the second time.
Right. Or if we were just sort of in like the new, like experiencing new thing haze.
Or if we were under some Lucky Charms. Get it? Lucky Charms.
Number 17, what language would you like to be fluent in?
I think this would depend on where I was living. Living here now, I would actually say Spanish because I feel like it would be the most helpful. Right? It's like the...
Yeah, but we have Desi to translate.
That's true. We do have a friend who speaks Spanish. And whenever I need something translated, I just text her. I'm like, what does this mean? But probably Spanish. I will say that if we did live in Ireland, I would probably like want to learn French because of just, you know, closeness to the country of France. And we love
able to hop over.
And we love Paris so much. We want to see the rest of France. So probably French if we lived in anywhere in Europe. Being in America, probably Spanish. What about you?
I'm probably gonna agree with that. I would like to know much more Spanish than I do because I think I know like 4 words, but
not helpful.
I would also really like to learn French. I think it's a beautiful language.
French is absolutely beautiful. That was one thing when we were over there. Like, I loved just listening to people talk. Like, I had no idea what they were saying, but I loved.
It sounds so pretty.
It does sound so pretty. Question number 18, Sherry. If we could have a son or a daughter, or a son and a daughter, what would we have named them? And before you answer, just so you guys know, if you have not watched our Why We Don't or Why We Can't Have Kids video, I'm going to link that down below. Go check that out. It's honestly, to be quite honest, one of the videos we've made that I'm actually the most proud of.
Yeah.
And the video I think we've gotten some of the most encouraging and positive comments off of, just getting to hear other people's story. So if you watch our videos and you wonder like, man, well, they love Disney, they go on cruises, they love like theme parks and fun, why don't they have kids? We actually talk all about that in our video down below. Yeah. But Sherry, we did talk about if we could have had kids, what were the names that we loved?
Going back to the Irish thing, because of course, we really liked Brielle for a girl and Declan for a boy.
Yeah, love both of those names so much.
Yeah. Number 19, what do you call a carbonated drink?
I've always called it a soda. Like, I've never called it anything else. What about you?
I was raised with pop. And I moved up here and realized nobody knew what I was talking about. And so I have, in the 15 and a half years that I've been here, I have switched to soda. It's just soda.
And it's weird because there's like some people that call it like Coke. They call everything a Coke. They're like, who do you want to drink? A Coke. Oh, what kind? Like Fanta or Dr. Pepper.
Why don't you
just say Dr. Pepper.
Just say Dr. Yeah, I don't understand the Coke thing for like the all-encompassing. That's a little bit weird.
So confusing to me.
You want a Coke, but it's not a Coke.
I'm soda. You're now soda.
I'm now soda.
But you grew up as pop.
Yeah.
Welcome to Team Soda.
Thanks.
It's a good team.
Thanks.
And Sherry Beth, final question. Question number 20. I love this question. If you won the lottery, and we're not talking about like a little lottery, we're talking like the $250 million Powerball. Like, money is no object. You're rich beyond your wildest dreams. What is the thing that you splurge on?
Well, we talked about this one before, and we are very different.
We're very different.
I would want to buy a big house with a very big library that I could fully stock and have very comfy chairs that I could just sit alone and read quietly for hours on end. I would love that.
It's like you would spend your money on like an introvert's dream. Mine is a little bit different. So on every single Disney cruise we have been on, I always have this thought. I'm like, man, if we were ever like $250 million rich, I would want to spend money and charter a Disney cruise. I don't even know if Disney does this. I've got to think they have a price. And charter a Disney cruise ship and invite like 500 people that we really like and love on the ship with us. Not 2,000. You don't want to fill the ship because you don't want it to be as crowded as a normal Disney cruise ship. You want just like 500 of your closest friends. But could you imagine like a fireworks show and all this stuff with like friends? That sounds, well, horrible to her, but like amazing to me.
I don't know if I like 500 people.
Well, that's probably true. I could probably fill 2,000. I like everybody. I would just like...
He's best friends with every person on earth.
I just love people.
Yeah.
So you guys, those were 20 random, very random questions about us. Some of them we agreed on, some of them we definitely did not. But now we want to hear from you guys. Share some of your answers to these questions down below. We want to hear from you. We want to get to know you a little bit better. And also tell us, what was something that you learned about us through these questions? Was there anything? Let us know down below. You guys, as always, we love you. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next LeggLife video.